ሰላም ጤና ይስጥልኝ ክቡራትና ክቡራን የአዲስ ፓራዳይም ቤተሰቦች የአዲስ ፓራዳይም ተከታታዮች እንደምናላችሁ ሁላችሁም በያላችሁበት ሰላማችሁ ይብዛ። ቤተሰብ እንግዲህ ቃል በገባሁት መሰረት ዛሬ የምገኘው የዓለማችን የንግድና የፋሽን መዲና በሆነችው በሚላኖ ከተማ ነው። ሚላኖ እንግዲህ የመጣችሁ ጣሊያን ሀገር የመጣችሁ ታቋታላችሁ ብዬ አስባለሁ። ደግሞ ያልመጣችሁም በስም መቼም ፋሽንና ሚላኖን ፋሽንና ጣሊያንን የምታለያዩቸው አይደሉምና ዛሬ ደግሞ ልዩ የሆነ ድባብ እየተካሄደበት ነው። የቡና መገኛ የሆነችው የኛዋ ኢትዮጵያ እንዲሁም ደግሞ የቡና ባህል ማዕከል የሆነችው ጣሊያን የንግድ ግንኙነታቸውን ይበልጥ ለማጠናከር ከዚህ ቀደም ብዙ የንግድ ግንኙነቶች አሉ። በቡናውም ረገድ ብዙ አብረው ይሰራሉ። ነገር ግን ያንን ግንኙነት ወደ ላቀ ደረጃ ለማድረስ ለማጠናከር ዛሬ ፊት ለፊት ተገናኝተዋል። ይህ እንግዲህ የኢትዮጵያ ጣሊያን የቢዝነስ ፎረም ዝም ብሎ ነጋዴዎች ስብስብ አይደለም። ተሰባስበው ዝም ብሎ አውርቶ የሚለያዩበት አይደለም። የጥራት የታሪክና የቴክኖሎጂ ቅልቅል ነው እና ኢትዮጵያ እንግዲህ ሁላችንም እንደምናውቀው ከኢትዮጵያ አረንጓዴ ተራራዎች ነው ቡና የሚፈልቀው። እንዲሁም ደግሞ የቡና መገኛዋ የኛዋ ኢትዮጵያ ነች። እስከ ሚላኖ ደግሞ ዘመናዊ ካፌዎች የሚዘልቅ ነው የኢትዮጵያ ቡና። ስለዚህ ይህንን የቡና ሰንሰለት ይበልጥ ትርፋማ ለማድረግ ከፍተኛ የመንግስት የስራ ኃላፊዎች እንዲሁም ደግሞ ታዋቂ ባለሀብቶች እንዲሁም የቡና ነጋዴዎች በዚህ መድረክ ተገኝተዋል። ከጣሊያንም ከኢትዮጵያም ከሁለቱም ቦታ ላይ የተገኙት ከሁለቱም ሀገራት ያሉ የቡና ነጋዴዎች ተገናኝተዋል እና ዛሬ እዚህ አዳራሽ ውስጥ የሚደረጉ ውይይቶች ይኖራሉ። የተለያዩ የሚፈረሙ ፊርማዎች ይኖራሉ። አብሮ ለመስራት ብዙ ነገሮች አሉና አብረን እንድንከታተል እንድናየው በሚለው ነውና የኢትዮጵያን ቡና ወደ አዲስ ምዕራፍ ያሸጋግሩታል ተብሎ የሚጠበቅ ብዙ ነገር አለና ቤተሰብ እስኪ አብራችሁ የምትቆዩ ብዙ ነገር ታተርፉበታላችሁ ብዬ አስባለሁ። እኔም ቡና ታዩታላችሁ። ግሬት ኮፊ ነው የሰጠኝ። ግሬት ኮፊ ይኸውላችሁ ቡና ይዤ ወደ ቤቴ ልገባ ነውና ቡና መጠጣት የምትፈልጉ ግሬት ኮፊ ቡና በርክቶልኛል። መታችሁ ሲፕ ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ። በጣም ሳየው ቆንጆ ቡና ነው። እውነት ለመናገር ከሆነ ገና ሲያዩት ራሱ የሚያጠግብ አይነትና አሁን እችን ቤቴ ገብቼ ልደት የማይደል ዛሬ ቤተሰብ እችን ቆላ አድርጌ ቆላትና ወቀጥ እንደ ሀገራችን በባህል በሙቀጫ ወቀጥ አረግና ምን ጠጣ ይሆናል። ኑ ቡና ጠጡ፣ ኑ እንጠጣ፣ ተከተሉኝ። ቴንክ ዩ
ክብርት አምባሳደር እናመሰግናለን። በመቀጠልም የፎረሙን የመክፈቻ ንግግር እንዲያደርጉልን የውጭ ጉዳይ ሚኒስቴር የኢኮኖሚ ዲፕሎማሲ ዋና ዳይሬክተር አምባሳደር ዮሐንስ ፋንታን ወደ መድረክ እንጋብዛለን።
Her Excellency Ambassador Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Ethiopia to the Republic of Italy and the Permanent Representative of Ethiopia to FAO, IFAD and WFP. His Excellency Ambassador Stefano Delio, Director for Sub-Saharan Africa at the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. His Excellency Massimiliano Fabian, Board Member of Confederacia of Africa and Mediterranean. His Excellency Mr. Giulio Gross-Jacques, Regional Councillor for Tourism and of the regions of the Ville de Osman. His Excellency Gizat Worku, General Manager of Ethiopia of Ethiopian Coffee Exporters Association. His Excellency Gianpiero Succi, Ethiopian Honorary Consul and Partner of Bonelli Ire. Invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. From the outset, allow me to extend my warmest greetings and convey a very sincere appreciation on behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia to our Italian partners, the organizers of this colorful event, and all participants who have dedicated their time and travel to Milan to make this forum success. Ethiopia and Italy have long-standing of bilateral relations, which is growing into a result-oriented and solid economic partnership grounded in mutual cooperation and shared interests. Under framework of Native Plan and other development cooperation instruments, the Italian government is expanding its support to Ethiopian priority sectors, including the coffee business, where partnership can be planned in improving value addition, enhancing the quality of products, and expanding market access. Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee Arabica, and coffee remains as the mainstay of livelihoods of many smallholder farmers. Our organic products such as Sidamo, Irgachefe, Limu, Muji, Nakapte and others stand for premium quality and unique aroma and profiles. We strongly believe that this quality can be upgraded into more refined world-class quality by consolidating our strategic partnership, especially in using the high standard Italian technology. On the other hand, despite the reputation of Ethiopian coffee has maintained in the Italian market, direct engagement has not yet reached its full potential. A significant portion of Ethiopian coffee still comes through intermediaries, which significantly reduce the benefits of producers and also limits the traceability for our roasters and consumers. This forum should revisit these gaps, and our transactions should be channeled through more direct links between the buyers and sellers from Ethiopia and Italy. In this connection, we strongly believe that today's forum is critically important in creating a strategic platform that links Ethiopian exporters with Italian coffee producers and with technology and service providers. In this regard, I strongly believe that Ethiopia and Italy can elevate this cooperation by upgrading our trading practices from simple transactional exchange to partnership where both sides could benefit from the sector. Expanding investment along the value chain where Italian investors can engage in value addition, processing, manufacturing and branding in Ethiopia. Deepening partnerships through knowledge and technology transfer is also more important. Excellencies and gentlemen, the value of this forum also lies in the instrumental collection behind it. The private sector drives transactions, but governments and institutions must support the process through facilitation, trade promotion, and consistent follow-up. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, together with the embassy and relevant sector institutions, including the Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority, will continue to support the structural follow-up so that this forum becomes not only a one-day occasion, but also a platform for continuity and tangible results. In conclusion, I wish you all the participants and a productive discussion, successful B2B engagements, and a strong partnership based on equality, trust, and a long-term shared interests. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. And now we are pleased to invite on the stage Ambassador Stefano De Leo, Director for Sub-Saharan Africa in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation.
እናመሰግናለን ክቡር አምባሳደር። በሚቀጥለውም የጣሊያን የውጭ ጉዳይ ሚኒስቴር ተወካይ አምባሳደር ስቴፋኖ ደ ሊዮኔን ወደ መድረካችን እንጋብዛለን።
May I close this because otherwise I see the screen, not the people. So I will make like this. Okay. Okay. Hopefully. No problem. Okay. Thank you very much, first of all, for this kind invitation, and I'm really honored to stay here because we have so much to share with our friends of Ethiopia that we could discuss hours about bilateral relations. But first of all, let me greet some special people. So first of all, my colleague, the Director General for the Economic Diplomacy at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, Ambassador Johannes Fanta, My dear sister, Ambassador Dimitu, we work together almost daily, and thank you for feeling me at home when I'm here and dealing with Ethiopia. I just came back from our summit, Italy, Africa, which was held in Addis Ababa, thanks to the big contribution of the government of Ethiopia. Then I would also like to greet the diplomatic presence of the ambassador of Nigeria to the FAO, to the international organizations, a country very dear to me, as I was there as Consul General in Lagos and ambassador till last year. So thank you very much for being here. And of course we have also the presence of people from Italy, of course, the board members of Confindustria Africa and Mediterranean. We have my dear friend also, Dottoressa Giordano here. We have, of course, what is very important for business economy, we have the honorary consul, Giampiero Succi, and of course also a region which I had the pleasure to discuss with the Assessore of Tourism and Sports and Commercio of the autonomous region of Valle d'Aosta. So welcome, because this means that also the regions are more and more getting interest into this very big country that is Ethiopia, about 138 million of people. And so I was listening that to every inhabitant of Valle d'Aosta, it comes to 1,000 Ethiopians. So a lot to do together, and we really have a lot of capacity to work together. So I would say that I also need to greet, of course, all the participants to this event, especially our Ethiopian friends who brought these special coffees from very important different regions of Ethiopia, and also our Italian sector, the private sector, our companies. So I hope that the matching and the B2B will be very successful. But let's come back to coffee, because it's a very strategic sector for both of our countries. Because when we hear coffee around the world, everybody thinks of Italy, Caffè Espresso and so on, but now more and more we know that the coffee is coming from Ethiopia, the home of coffee. So if we both work together in this field, I think nobody else can compete. So the house or the origin of the coffee and the country which make coffee one of its brandings all over the world. So coffee is a very strategic sector, and it's also a strategic part of the Italian cooperation strategy abroad. You know, we have chosen with our Mattei plan some pilot countries. Ethiopia is one of these countries, and especially one sector of our cooperation, which is widespread, is dealing with coffee. So let me limit discussion today to the coffee sector. And when we talk about coffee, it's not only the pleasure to drink the coffee and to have social meetings and interaction. It's a vital source of income and of employment of millions of people. So when we look at coffee, we have to see that coffee plays a very important role in our societies. And of course, in rural areas, coffee is the most important source of production and of income. And these sectors, as all sectors do, are developing and facing challenges. So the price volatility is an issue. The aging plantations, attraction of new farmers that will continue the labor and the experience of their fathers. So we need to attract young generations also to the development and the plantation of coffee. And also limited access to finance and innovative farming, creating new ways of farm on agronomic practices are also an important issue. So we come to speak about also technology, social issues, and of course value chains and climate change. So when we talk about coffee, we touch a huge area of elements. And in light of this, the Italian government and the Italian cooperation has chosen to do its part, and especially to put hands into hands with Ethiopia to give a deep importance to give the value, the specific value of the deep importance coffee holds in both of our countries. And of course, it's a strong symbolic value, it's a cultural value, but we do want to do more. We want to create through coffee ways to enhance diplomacy of growth, or as we have here the Director General, we talk about economic diplomacy. This is, I think, one of the specific parts of our common interests. And what is really important is that we work together. So our activity in the coffee area is creating specific programs that touch, of course, climate resilience, transformation, and of course creating know-how, high-impact initiatives that we work together not only with Ethiopia but also with the international organizations like UNIDO, and of course with the Inter-African Coffee Organization. So we see that Ethiopia becomes really an African hub in many areas, especially also on coffee. And we started this initiative with Ethiopia, and we want to make it countrywide. But of course, we need to start with our specific partners where we find the roots of coffee. And our main goal is to support these countries to become more resilient, equitable, circular, regenerative, and creating efficient supply chains by also using and leveraging on the Italian private coffee sector. So we have the government working, but we don't want to leave aside the private sector, which has to play a very effective role, also in creating jobs, in developing skills, promoting knowledge, and sharing knowledge and information, innovation and information. So this project has a huge value, and if I look today into this room, I see that coffee brought together many different players, but all together with one goal: to make coffee a vehicle of social economic growth. And I wish all of you to have a really important day and to share information, to share knowledge, and also to share business opportunities in many fields. So thank you very much. I really look forward to developing this sector even more, and bring also the greetings of who is really working on coffee at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's my colleague Stefano Gatti, whom I represent today. But it's a pleasure because I really also had the opportunity to taste the coffee there and to eat some Ethiopian bread. So I'm very happy that today I was also hosted in a very Ethiopian way. And thank you very much again, and good work for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador De Leo. And the presence of our Minister of Foreign Affairs is always very important because he's our strategic partner, also for private sector. So we work together daily for supporting Italian companies in their process of internationalization, especially in Africa, and also to the maritime plan. So now I'm very pleased to give the floor to the Ambassador, I hope to pronounce correctly your name, Ambassador Yaya Hola Miran, Permanent Representative of Nigeria to FAO, IFAD, and World Food Programme. Ambassador, the floor is yours.
በሮም የሚገኘውን ናይጄሪያ ኤምባሲ ክቡር አምባሳደር ያያ ወላዳን ወደ መድረክ እንጋብዛለን።
Buongiorno. Buongiorno. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm glad I'm here. Why? Because this meeting is joining so many dots in my life. And I must thank my sister Demitu for her kindness and conviction that I should be here. I'm sure she didn't know the full implication. But this, I must say, is a day that is putting together all that we, ambassadors in Rome, are trying to do. Unfortunately, we are not doing it effectively. I wish all of us from Rome could be in this room right now, because there is an important thing, and that is getting the business sector, the business mind, to relate with government in terms of policy and effective initiatives. We talk about smallholder farmers in Africa. For me, this is one of the best examples that is taking farmers out of poverty into life, an abundant life for that matter. I want to thank the Ethiopian government, thank the Italian government, and the people of Italy and Ethiopia. And of course, I want to thank the Africans who labor very hard and do their best. I said that there are many dots that this meeting is joining together in my life. I started as a scientist at Cocoa Research Institute in Nigeria. The name is a misnomer. It should have been Cocoa Coffee Research Institute, because my first crop was coffee. Coffee Arabica, coffee Robusta, and I loved it. But unfortunately today, Nigeria cannot be found in coffee. Why? Because of oil. The oil has not been too much of a blessing, I'm sorry. But that's something else. The Ethio-Italian Coffee Business Forum also reminds me of one day in Nairobi, Kenya, that I went into a coffee plantation that is flowering. I meant to spend half an hour there. I was there for 3 hours. Why? Because of the scent that was coming out of the coffee flowering plantation. If you have not experienced that, I beg you, try it. You love yourself for it. Thirdly, I changed my best flight routine to Ethiopian Airlines, and the meeting will confirm that. Because on many occasions, she found me at the Ethiopian desk in Rome, going to different parts of the world. I stopped, took coffee, Ethiopian coffee, at Boli Airport. It's my routine, and I love it. Finally, I want us all to know that this is not an initiative that should remain this close. We need to show the world that with the sort of cooperation I'm seeing here, we don't need anybody with a big whip to make us do what we love doing. Nature takes care of many things. Unfortunately, we human beings disrupt nature too much. If all this coffee, the environment, the fauna are respected like the Ethiopian people do, our world will be a better place and there'll be less stress. So let me say a big thank you, Minister, for coming. Thank you, Ambassador, that is fresh from Nigeria and making things happen. You need to link up with all African countries, because what you are doing now says to us the peculiarities of Italy or Italians. And what my sister is doing, promoting, should bring more of us. The successful, joyful, and our humanity, the love for one another, will continue to grow. Thank you once again, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for your words, for your message. And now I'm pleased to give the floor to one of the protagonists of this business forum, the Ethiopian Coffee Exporter Association. And I'm very pleased to call on the stage the General Manager, Mr. Gizad Worku.
በመቀጠል ስለ ፎርሙ ዓላማና ስለ ኢትዮጵያ ኢንቨስትመንት ቅድሚያ የሚሰጣቸው ዘርፎች ገለጻ የሚደረግ ክፍል ጊዜ ይሆናል። ለዚህም የኢትዮጵያ ቡና ኤክስፖርት ማህበር ዋና ስራ አስኪያጅ አቶ ግዛት ወርቁ ንግግር እንዲያደርጉ እንጋብዛለን።
Thank you very much. It's really great honor to me to present about Ethiopian coffee for you very dignitaries. Ambassador Damitu, Ambassador Johannes, Ambassador Stefano, and honorary excellencies from Italian side, and coffee people, both from Ethiopia and Italy. I thank you very much, and I say you all welcome to this very wonderful session where Ambassador Damitu, Ambassador Johannes, and the whole staff in Ethiopian embassy here in Rome, they have really worked hard to make it happen, such kind of relation from Italian side and from Ethiopian side, both the operators, the coffee producers, the coffee traders, the coffee processors, the coffee innovators to meet and talk about coffee. I thank you very much. I have some presentation. I will try to go as fast as possible. Let me say some words about Ethiopian Coffee Association. Its former name is Ethiopian Coffee Exporters Association. It is established in 1969, 57 years back. It representing Ethiopian coffee export, not only exporters. We have around 800 coffee exporters. We have all Ethiopian coffee unions who represent Ethiopian coffee farmers. The number is around 1.5 million coffee farmers. Biggest coffee commercial owners, commercial farm owners. Those commercial farmers have comprised of around 400 to 500,000 coffee farmers. In total, we are representing around 2 million coffee farmers. We are working on promoting Ethiopian coffee at international market, advocacy, capacity building to our members, and information provision to our members, and working on the overall coffee sector development in Ethiopia. Before I compare the Ethiopian market to Italy and Italian side, how far they are in coffee, I want to show some figures. it is said earlier, it's around $5 billion business in Italy, coffee. Italy has exported around 300,000 tons of green coffee, equivalent to 290 million kg. So this is a big business. I want to add more. Third country in the world, Italy. One, I should not talk to Italians about Italy, but I want to compare what I have, how Ethiopia and Italy has related in doing business in coffee. I want to compare that. That's why I'm mentioning the Italian part. Second, in the European Union. First European producer of roasted coffee with 25% of the total EU production. World's leading exporter of roasted coffee to non-European EU countries. Coffee represents the fourth most exported agri-food product from Italy by value. This is about how huge the Italian market is in coffee. Let me compare how much we have contributed as Ethiopians, how much quantity of coffee we have sold to Italy. This is the figure for the last 10 years. Even with the last 7 months, Ethiopia has exported coffee to Italy around 6,000 tons. Last year, 16,000 tons of coffee. Before that, it is 10, 7, 9, 6, 9, 10. I'm going back in years. So it's not growing. It's not growing. In 2016-17, it was 8.3 thousand. In 2017, 11,000. In 2018, 10. And then it declined to 9.5, 6.2, 9.6. So it's not growing. Italian coffee import or Ethiopian coffee export to Italy is not growing. In last year, actually, it has grown. It seems very big growth, 16,000. To me, the justification, the reason behind this growth is EUDR, European Union Deforestation-Free Product Regulation. So whether we are complying or not, it was not known. So Italian coffee importers were rushing to import more coffee and to hold before the deadline or the implementation of the EUDR in December 2025. So this figure shows a big honor for both of us. Top 10 coffee export destinations in Ethiopia, for Ethiopia. Italy is around 8th, 9th level. The highest is Germany, which covers around 20% of Ethiopian coffee export, 36,000 tons of coffee. Italy is 10. Saudi Arabia, 62. USA, 23. Japan, 20. Belgium, 25. South Korea, 23. Italy, 10. This figure should be a challenge for both of us. Or, I think when we come here and when we talk with Ambassador Demetrio and Ambassador Johannes, when we plan to come to Italy, it is this puzzle where we want to solve. And then if there is something on our side, we should correct. From policy advocacy to individual coffee exporters' character or the way they handle their business. The gap. I'm showing the gap. In 24-25, total coffee export to Italy from Ethiopia, as it's shown, it is $88.6 million. Or in euro, it is 71 million euro. Compare it with 2.2 billion euro of Italy's importing coffee. It's just 3.2%. Let's compare how much percentage of world coffee production we hold as Ethiopians. Around 6.3, 6.4% of the world coffee is produced by Ethiopia. This is total, both Arabica and Robusta. In volume, Ethiopia exports to Italy 60.3 thousand tons of green beans,
out of the total 655,000 tons of Italian green bean import. Just 2.5%. So at least we have half a way to go. At least we can double the quantity of export to Italy. What is the missing link with these two countries? With amazing similar coffee cultures. I will come to similarities where we have already tied up in the same way of drinking coffee, loving coffee, selling coffee, all that kind of things are there. So let me I'm blaming both of us why we are not exporting too much coffee to Italy, and then I'm really surprised when I see the similarity of Ethiopian and Italian culture. We are different. Both of us are birthplace of coffee. We on the plantation, you on the espresso. Italian showed to the world with all their love to coffee, it is birthplace of espresso. We are birthplace of the planet. Let me mention some points in relation to our love to coffee. Coffee is a daily ritual, not just a beverage. In both countries, coffee is tied to routine and timing. Ethiopia, traditional coffee ceremony, often it is two or three times. In most houses, they brew coffee in the morning, in the lunchtime, and in the dinner. Mostly people after drinking coffee, or there are people who don't drink in the afternoon because they can't sleep. But with us, we don't sleep without drinking coffee. In Italy, fixed coffee moments: morning espresso, mid-morning break, and after lunch. It's amazing. Both of us have fixed in time when we take coffee. In both cultures, skipping coffee can feel like skipping a daily ritual. We don't skip. Coffee is strongly social. Coffee is rarely consumed in isolation. I don't mention some countries very far from here. It is energy. Drinking coffee is energy. To us, it's not energy. It's ritual. We don't drink it separately alone. We drink it with someone. In Ethiopia, coffee ceremony brings family, neighbors, guests together. Hospitality, offering coffee. When you think of guests coming to our home, number one thing which we mention is, let's drink coffee. The brewing coffee it starts from washing, roasting, grinding, brewing, from beginning to end. In Italy, coffee breaks at bars are social checkpoints. You go to bars, you meet your friends. Yesterday in the evening, I walked and went to some coffee bar. I was really surprised. Friends are talking, joking each other, and then they're drinking that small cup of coffee. It is social connection. Hospitality revolves around coffee. Serving coffee is a sign of respect and welcome in both cultures. Ethiopia, guests are offered coffee as a sign of honor. Anybody comes to home, if you are giving him a good attention, if you don't have some kind of grievance with him, you brew coffee. Even the one hurrying to very in a hurry to go to somewhere, if you ask him, please drink coffee or take some food, okay, at least let me have coffee. I'm in a hurry, let me have coffee. That kind of things. Italy offering coffee after a meal or during visits is expected. You expect that. When you come to Ethiopia, we don't miss that. Refusing coffee can feel culturally unusual in both places. No one is refusing coffee when you serve or when you request. A strong pride in coffee identity. both countries feel deep ownership of coffee culture. We own coffee. Birthplace of coffee, birthplace of humanity, relating to origin, we are talking too much about coffee. Why I say too much, we didn't sell it out. We didn't exploit it well. The best coffee is found in Ethiopia. If you drink Panama geisha and come to Ethiopia, Ethiopian geisha, it's good from Ethiopian geisha. But the taste is not the same. Ours is the best. It's related to soil, rainfall volume, variety, everything. Ethiopia, birthplace of coffee, strong pride in origin, terroir, tradition. Italy, birthplace of espresso culture, pride in preparation, technique and cafe tradition. As ambassadors to the nation, in coffee, there are a lot of things here related to innovation. Roasting is a science here. Identifying one coffee from the other is really a science here. That's why the second largest or the first coffee exporter. Most of businessmen who are not involved in coffee, if you ask that coffee is exported from Europe to Africa and so many countries, no one knows that. You are the one who is exporting coffee more than we export. We produce, it is more than 300,000 tons of coffee exported from Italy. Just last year we reached 467,000 tons of coffee export. So what holds us back? What's wrong with us to increase the quantity of coffee to this wonderful country that exports, that converts coffee to many features and sells coffee to the world? We are here to solve that. We have our exporters here to show you our coffee, and I'm here, and our embassy and diplomats are here to solve what can we do to you to import more coffee from Ethiopia. Related to price, promotion, delivery time, communication, what not? We want to see that. Preference for small concentrated coffee. This surprised me. When I first went to United States and I go to the cafe with friends and they gave me Americano coffee. It's like drinking water. It's a huge, the volume is very big. I've never drank that. I take and I finish that coffee. I cannot resist. I was burning. That amount of coffee, we have never even thought of Lebanon to drink. When I come here in Italy, it is half of ours. Our cups holds your double coffee of espresso. But you love espresso, we love our cup of coffee. We do it in small size, not in a big size. That is really, I do remember one proverb, European proverb. The best perfume is confined in the smallest bottle. We are drinking the best confined coffee. So what is holding back the growth of Ethiopian coffee imports, despite the strong appreciation for this quality? You see, this is this is our cup. This is your cup. Even crema, which you love it. In ours, it's not crema. Differently we express its hotness. Yubuna sawatu mafajatu. It means the flavor, the goodness of coffee is found in its hotness. I want to show the similarity. This lady, how she concentrated. In your park, there is crema, body, and heart. In our park, when the lady pours the coffee to the cup, she knows what kind of crema she creates. And most of it, it's not like what you concentrate on crema. It is linked to conversation and time. Coffee is an excuse to pause life. We relax. Even in a very hasty and very busy life, we stop that, and then we go just to drink coffee. So in both countries, coffee moments are about chatting, showing down, connecting. No grab and go. Rushing, driving, going some coffee, and then you stop there your car, grab your coffee, and then run, work. That's not the culture here and there. In Ethiopia and in Italy. So what is holding back us not to grow fast, not to supply you the best coffee? What's the missing link? I finished this one. Different in style, but similar in meaning. Ritual, daily structure, coffee moments. Social bonding, coffee, it's conversation. Hospitality, coffee offered to guests, both in Italy and Ethiopia. Strong national coffee identity, pride. Espresso for Italians, birthplace of coffee for Ethiopians. It is the detour where we always think. Smaller portion, concentrated servings. Cultural knowledge, coffee literacy is society. If you ask an Ethiopian, they will tell you, oh, from where this coffee is coming, how they roast it. Even among the ladies, they compare and say, this is the best brewing, this is the best roasting. This is just, so far I showed the gap, the Italian huge economy in coffee, and how much portion of it they took from us. That is my worry. And then now, let me show peculiar features of Ethiopian coffee. Job opportunity. If we are working on sustainability, poverty alleviation, innovation, whatever, it holds 5.8 million coffee farmers. If we multiply by 5, one household, it is above 13 million people's livelihood is holding coffee in Ethiopia. If any country which works with as a development partner or as a bilateral or as a good friend of Ethiopia, looking this number of population is important. Export earning. Last year, with a big enforcement and exerting maximum effort to export more quantity, the government's commitment, we fetched $2.67 billion of. Before that, almost it was half of it. 38% of foreign exchange. Edaphic and climatic resources. We have 1.3 million hectares of coffee land. Coffee varieties, more than 10,000 varieties of coffee. Out of this, 6.6 thousand varieties of coffee are kept in Jimma University. We are treasure holders. When I talk with the European Union about EUDR, I was saying that if we push these farmers, treasure holders of the world, if we think of coffee and the continuation of coffee, it is Ethiopian coffee farmers, poor farmers, who hold that treasure. Specialty coffee, sustainable coffee, traceable coffee, quality coffee, where we know from where it comes, in which altitude, how many rainfall volume it took. That kind of things makes coffee special. We reached 30% of that specialty coffee. Birthplace of coffee, I already said it. Forest coffee. This is a picture of forest coffee. You cannot identify, if you are well accustomed with coffee trees in many coffee states, it's not similar. When you go to forest coffee, the coffee tree is very tall by looking for sunlight because it is inside a big forest. We export 10% of Ethiopian coffee export comes from forest coffee. You know that forest coffee means no one is carrying, no one is owning. Just once in a year, some coffee farmers go there, they build their shed, and then for 1 week they harvest, they process, and go back home. No country has forest coffee except Ethiopia. That's a peculiar nature. I think we are not smart enough to sell this peculiar nature of forest coffee. We can use it as a marketing tool. Highest coffee quality. In a score, even we can today they are ready to make it to cup coffee. You're gonna see what kind of aroma flavor you're gonna get from our coffee. Just to mention, in Cup of Excellence competition, where Alliance for Coffee Excellence, US company, has made a big competition in Ethiopia, where around 1,800 coffee farmers has competed, it fetched $400 per pound. Low on farm production cost. Our farmers don't use fertilizer or chemical. They don't use. That assures the organicness of that coffee. So the productivity is very low. Coffee culture, strong coffee culture, specialty coffee demand, it is growing. So far, I raised the Italian economy in coffee and how much quantity we exported. But the Italian coffee market for specialty coffee is growing at 9% per annum. Growing fast. Total coffee production, this is with a special attention from government recently for the last 4 or 5 years, the production is increasing very fast. We have reached 1.5 million tons of coffee. Productivity, maximum 9.4. If we compare with Brazil or Colombia or Vietnam, the productivity is very high. But they use their own technique. But on our way, it is just without fertilizer, without chemical, and even produced in traditional way. In another way, it is an opportunity where we can show special coffee. Anyone who needs special coffee can trace some plot of land and can take it every year, that coffee. Stamping program, it is just government took to promote, to increase the productivity. Stamping is cutting all trees by just 30 centimeters above the ground, and then it will get a new leaf. At last, what I want to mention is EUDR. It's your concern. European Union deforestation-free product. Actually, we don't produce coffee out of shade. In Ethiopia, coffee is always produced under shade, so we don't deforest. Actually, especially the last 7-8 years, our government has given special attention to afforestation. In 2019, afforestation was around 19%. It covers 19% of Ethiopian land. In 2023, it reached 23%. The government has planned to reach 30% of Ethiopian land to be covered by forest. But EUDR requires evidence. We have to geolocate and due diligence related to legal aspects. What steps shall we take to delight you? That's my question. What can we do to you? Is it delivery time? For any question, this is my address. Grazie mille. Thank you very much.
Economic Affairs at the Embassy of Ethiopia in Rome.
እናመሰግናለን። በመቀጠልም በሮም የኢትዮጵያ ኤምባሲ የኢኮኖሚ ዲፕሎማሲ ተጠሪ አቶ ስንደተ ሊያደርጉ እንጋብዛለን።
Thank you. I've been coming to here. I was waiting for my turn. That's why. Thank you, Excellencies, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. What I'm going to present you is about Invest in Ethiopia. Mr. Gizat has showed how the coffee and
coffee in Ethiopia and Italy as related. Now I'm going to call you for investment. Why Ethiopia? Why now? Because there is homegrown economic reform and untapped investment waiting to be explored. And also, there is highly growing, at around 10% growing economy. Strategic location, as you know, Ethiopia is at a strategic location that is found, which is an opportunity to create for investment. And also, government is committed promoting this business friendly environment. So, I'm going to brief you shortly the priority sector of investment incentive, priority sectors and investment incentives. What are these investment priorities of Ethiopian government? Agriculture, manufacturing, mining, tourism, ICT, and energy. Now emerging, transport and logistic, finance service, and also healthcare. Let me go through one by one. When we talk about agriculture, agriculture is a crucial sector for Ethiopian economy. You know, it's contribute around 32.4 for Ethiopian GDP and responsible also for 80% of export for the nation. So, in which area that our government give priority for investment is farming, irrigation projects, broad crops, including food crops, oilseed, fruits, vegetables, and tea and coffee, that we're talking about coffee today. The other is livestock, also is another area to invest. Another is agro-processing. There is high amount of agriculture, so agro-processing is another area to included. For this, our government has provided industrial parks that one company who wants to invest go to Ethiopia and have this suitable industry park and open his manufacturing, so he can easily open his company there in Ethiopia. Since that today we are talking about coffee, what's investment opportunity on coffee sector? The first is on cultivation. Anyone who wants, foreign investor, could involve in cultivation of coffee, which is implementation of advancing coffee processing technique. The other is manufacturing. Manufacturing, when you say manufacturing, Italian is known for its value addition. So, if Italian companies are involved in manufacturing, there is a high amount of local market and also trusted international coffee specialists. The other is coffee packaging. This is also another gap that we have, that we need Italian companies to fill. The other point is, the other priority area is manufacturing. When we talk about manufacturing, it's an engine for our economy. The areas that are good to invest is textile, garment, manufacturing are the priority areas. We have economic zone, like I mentioned earlier, the industry parks. So anyone who wants to invest in Ethiopia, he is beneficial for this economic zone. And also, Ethiopia is in under FTA, African Free Trade Area, which create a big market opportunity. The other that we should have to consider about manufacturing, especially when we talk about coffee also, there is a high amount of reduction that we could manage on the production cost. There is ready manufacturing, human capital, cost efficiency in affordable energy, which is rated 0.3 to 0.4 kilowatt per hour. This is the lowest energy that you could get from the world. Also availability of raw material. So taking these things into account, we could manage. We found the raw material in Ethiopia. So if we invest in Ethiopia, we could minimize the transportation cost for the raw material. if we manufacture the raw material in Ethiopia, there is a huge amount of money that we could save from the production cost, including the human capital and cost efficiency. The other is ICT. ICT is one of the driver Ethiopian technological modernization that we are really focusing now. This is Ethiopian government has ambitious plan on this sector. For this to be happen, there is a huge ICT park that we have developed, where companies in Italy could go there and work for software, AI, data center, cloud service, ICT equipment manufacturing, and other things. When we come to the exemplary, Safaricom Mambesa is one example that Ethiopian Kenyan company that invested in Ethiopia and became successful. So now the room is open for Ethiopia to receive these Italian companies. The other is tourism. Tourism, as you know, is we are known by the motto of land of origin. There is 13 UNESCO registered heritage. So with this, there are investment opportunities. The first one is hospitality. We need a companies who wants to invest in hospitality, tourism infrastructure. The other hospitality training center, this is another big area to invest. There is huge opportunity also. There is experience in transportation, where we could venture offering and enabling service. That's the priority areas for tourism to invest. The other is renewable energy and green mobility. As I talked earlier, Ethiopia is open for solar, hydro, geothermal energy. This is the unique country that makes Ethiopia to have all sorts of energy to invest for. So there is a huge market. After investing in this sector, there is a huge market around the neighboring countries. We have started exporting for Djibouti, Kenya, and Sudan. Is this enough? Not yet. So we have a lot of opportunities if Italian companies could invest in the energy sector. The other is untapped area is mining sector. This is a very untapped area which Ethiopia government is looking for investors in iron and steel production, construction sector, which is called the mining, and also mining processing plants. This is three main pillars for the mining investment. What about when we talk about incentives? There are incentives that the Ethiopian government would provide. There is tax holiday, tax exemption during the various sectors and location. You could see the specific sectors. To save the time, I'm not going to go through all the details, but I will brief you. What is this incentives? Tax holiday, the first one. Duty relief for capital goods, which means VAT exemption. Land access. The government give a long-term lease and discounted special zone. And the other is finance. Movable asset like collateral, warehouse, guarantees. These are incentives that the government will give. And the other is reparation. The profit can be reparation provision cited in sector incentives. The other is one-stop support. We have developed one-stop service for all this special economic zone. So these are incentive. So I invite you to invest in Ethiopia, to explore the areas of investment in Ethiopia. So I thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Skinder, for your wide presentation about the many sectors in which Italian companies can operate in Ethiopia.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. I'm sorry for being late, but unfortunately my train schedule went very late, and that's why I am late here. So, first of all, let me thank the Ethiopian Embassy and in Rome, and especially Ambassador Demitu Hambiza for involving us in this very nice initiative, together with Bonelli Rede and the Ethiopian Coffee Association, which are our partners in this event. I also would like to give my warm welcome to the Ethiopian delegation here in Italy, and special thanks to Ambassador Stefano De Leo of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who represents the main Italian stakeholder with whom we daily work as a Africa, for the support of Italian companies in their growth in Africa, also in the framework of the Mattei Plan, who has great relevance also, especially in the coffee sector. As a board member of Confindustria Africa and Mediterranean, I represent today the international part of Confindustria, the general confederation of the Italian industry, which for over 45 years has been supporting member companies in their internationalization process in Africa, Middle East, and Turkey. We gather small and medium-sized enterprises, big industrial groups, operating in all industrial sectors, the main Italian banks and the industrial associations, both sectoral and territorial. As you know, Confindustria is divided in these two main categories for the associations, which are then confederated. Our association has structured relations with Ethiopian counterparts, thanks to a long-term cooperation with the Embassy of Ethiopia in Rome and to main Ethiopian stakeholders with whom we have been collaborating during these years, such as the Ethiopian Chamber of Sectoral Associations, with whom we signed a MOU, and the Ethiopian Investment Commission. Thanks to this collaboration, we have organized numerous joint initiatives, both at the high institutional level and business sector, both. We have accompanied delegations of Ethiopian business operators visiting the factories of some of our member companies, allowing them to appreciate Italian technology. Additionally, we have organized over 300 B2B meetings during the 2 business forums held in Rome and Milano, which saw the participation of more than 150 Italian companies and over 90 Ethiopian companies. This clearly shows that when we organize an initiative involving Ethiopia, our companies always respond in large numbers. Among our members, we have companies that boast 20 years of experience in the country with long-standing and reliable partners. The launch of the Mattei Plan, which included Ethiopia among the 9 priority countries, gave further impetus to this collaboration, promoting several projects in the country. Our association works daily with the Mattei Plan mission structure to collect and implement business projects in the 14 target countries, and so far we have collected 6 projects involving investments in Ethiopian various sectors, from energy to materials and equipment, for the infrastructure, from telecommunications to training projects, and of course, projects in the agro-industry, such as coffee. Just last week, Ambassador Demitu Hambiza visited one of our member companies that is carrying out projects in the field of food security and cereal storage. These meetings and high-level business forums are part of the mission of our association, which works daily to connect companies with diplomatic, financial and business networks in Africa and the Middle East, with the aim to promote the establishment of long-term industrial projects and partnerships. We are firmly convinced that Italian companies, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, which represent the backbone of Italian economy, thanks to their flexibility, experience and innovative capacity, can offer cutting-edge technologies, transfer of know-how and training in all industrial sectors in the framework of a win-win cooperation. Today, we are here for checking possible cooperation in another strategic sector, the coffee chain. Being included as a flagship sector of bilateral cooperation between Italy and Ethiopia in the Matei Plan. I would like also to recall that ICO, the International Coffee Organization, is also working on a coffee resilience fund at a very high level, and the movement towards coffee is definitely interesting in the benefit also of the countries, of the producing countries, not only of the consuming countries, mainly of the producing countries, I would say. Industrial collaboration in this chain represents, in fact, a lever for promoting sustainable and traceable production, green economy, and well, we have spoken a lot of EUDR legislation recently, create skilled employment for young people, strengthen local added value through roasting and packaging in Ethiopia, export Italian know-how in the agro-industrial supply chain, and product processing. I would like to also to add that here I'm not only to represent South Africa, I represent other entities, and specifically my company, obviously, which I live in with, and which is Demus. Demus is a small innovative green coffee decaffeination industry and a benefit company in Trieste since 1962, also performing its lab accredited analysis and genetic fingerprinting, but our main business is green coffee decaffeination. But I have also the pleasure to chair right now the European Coffee Federation, and that is the main European coffee association representing the big majority of the continental coffee industry, as the main counterpart for the authorities in their legislative process. And when I say the authorities in, and specifically for coffee and food in general, is mainly the European Union. Our members are private companies of different dimensions, starting from Nestlé to my definitely smaller company, and national coffee associations also. Then I also represent the Trieste Coffee Association. I'm saying this because I would like to bring the salutes from these entities. The Trieste Coffee Association dates 1891, and I'm actually vice president. I was past president for many years. And we gather the industry and commerce of one of the main EU coffee ports, which is Trieste. I had also the pleasure to chair the International Coffee Organization Council 2022-23, and I was the first private sector representative that had the honor to do so. But coffee is my life, and it's 35 years I manage my company, and I'm also an Arabica Q grader, and I'm a coffee value assessor. And I would like to add something on Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is a fantastic coffee country with a unique natural genetic richness and biodiversity. And I would like to underline that, because for what is my coffee culture, coffee is born in Ethiopia. And if you look at the really incredible variety you have, it's something that it's really precious for all of our sector. Coffee consumption is also a relevant part of country's culture. If this will be conjugated with an improvement in productivity, because we need more coffee in our world, because consumption is growing even if in a very jeopardized way, and paying due attention to the developing rules of our sector, Ethiopia could lead the way of Africa's continent to gain its proper role in world's coffee production, responding to the global growing demand that I was referring to. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fabian. So, thank you. So now we end this plenary session, and before going to the B2B meetings that will be after lunch here, so during B2B meetings we have the occasion to have bilateral meetings with Ethiopian counterparts. Now we just have a family photo picture on the stage with all the speakers, and before going to the lunch there is a coffee taste here, and we all invite you to taste Ethiopian coffee. So, please go on the stage for the family photo. Sì, qui sopra. No, forse sotto va bene,
The rest please join us, yeah? Yeah.
It will come.
Yeah. Turn by turn. Join us.
The ambassador invites you all to join us for the family photo picture.
Family photos, please.
Yeah, all together.
Se volete andare su anche, è meglio. Sì, sopra, sì.
Aspetta un attimo.
Sugli stipendi, poi li facciamo vedere già questo è il pacchetto. Dobbiamo capire che abbiamo però questo siamo il pacchetto economico finale. salary after getting salary as this is already arranged.
Un'azienda che è questa piccola comunque ha un suo valore.
Cose precise, insomma. Poi ti dico la verità. Sì, sappiamo. È già difficile adesso fare il chioppi di che poi
Ah, methanol. Okay, yes.
Yes. But you are invited.